Alright guys, time you've been waiting for. The first program that I'm going to do through January. Okay, so in this program, I'm going to look at some of those areas that required some mobility work, and then I'm going to try and integrate that mobility work, which will be done earlier in the session, into some strength work and some movement-based work from there. So let's have a look. The day 1 and 4 and day 2 and 5 are quite similar in the split. And then day 3 and day 6 are some running variations. So maybe we'll start with day 3 and day 6, the running. So I'm going to start off with just 10 sets of 1 minute duration at about 7 RPE. So some moderate intensity work, but not huge volumes. I'm just starting back into running after not doing a lot over the last 18 months to 2 years probably really. On the Saturday, it's going to be a longer duration run. It's going to start at about 20 minutes duration at about a 5 RPE. So obviously just one lot of those. So pretty ease into the running aspect while I'm still got to build up the strength to be able to tolerate the forces that are working in my body when running. And also there's some big imbalances there side to side that I want to try and sort out a bit before I start to run. Hopefully you can help me with that in my third program too as we start to ramp the running up around then. So starting in day 1, which I said is quite similar to, apart from a few minor differences, to day 4. So some banded ankle mobility and some triplane ankle mobility. We'll then have a look at some neural stretching, so looking at some floss band, mobility band, neural work, and then some whole body flossing, some standing flossing, so integrating it into more functional positions from a more stable position. I'm then going to integrate that neural mobility and ankle mobility into some ankle reaches, so reaching out in 8 directions around myself. So similar to the Star Excursion Balance Test that we had a look at for the assessment, but from the top down rather than from the bottom up. I'm then going to progress into that lower limb Star Excursion Balance Test, so integrating into some more ankle-based stuff. Again, given a lot of the ankle work that I've done is quite specific, mobility work around the ankle is quite specific, I'm going to then try and integrate it into the Star Excursion Balance Test. Remember, the text can be the exercise and the exercise can be the test, so that's the method I've gone for there. Then I'm going to get straight into some heavy work. So with this, I'm going to start on the right leg, given that was the weaker one, and just match it with the left. So in this case, I've been doing a little bit of strength work for a few months now, so I'm going to go for 4 sets of 6 repetitions. So I'm going to get into it pretty heavy. Again, starting on the right, match with the left. That's going to be the same with the hip thrust, although slightly higher repetitions, just to make sure that I'm not going to irritate some of those areas around the back, given we saw maybe those core results probably weren't as good as they could be. And then I'm going to have a look at some step-ups with a big eccentric component. So I'm going to sort of work on 1 second up, 1 second pause, and then I'm going to have a look at 3 to 5 seconds on the way down. So really try and control it. Again, pretty heavy, looking at 8 reps there, starting on the right, matching with the left. And then I'm going to move to the leg extension machine, where I'm going to do similar to what I did on the leg press. I'm going to look at 4 sets of 6 reps, okay? So as I said, very similar to the 4th day here, you can see as we scroll back up. So really, really similar. When we move to day 2, so it's going to start with some foam rolling, some glute mini rollers. Look, there's a lot of debate out there whether foam rolling works or not. For me, I can do some foam rolling, automatically I'll get an extra 3 or 4 centimeters on that weight bearing lunge test. So for me, my body tends to like it. I've just got to make sure that I then go and integrate into movement, which is what I haven't been doing either of those lately. So hopefully you can use that as a bit of a tool. I like it as well, I must admit. So personal bias comes into that in this program as well. I'm then going to look at some banded knee resistant adduction, so some sort of glute activation. I sort of hate that term, but glute activation work. Moving into some reverse Nordics, so looking at sort of those eccentric strength through those quadriceps, especially that rec fem there. Then I'm going to go for some single leg stability stuff, looking at a single leg powerlift press. And then you'll notice the upper body program is pretty minimal in this phase, so I'm going to leave that to the second phase and really try and, given that I want to bring up my running a bit more, I'm going to try and get the legs as strong as I can, as quick as I can, but I will sneak in some bench press in there. I'll sneak in some bent over rows, and I'm going to superset these, so I'm going to superset the bench press with these adductor curls, and then I'm going to superset the bent over row with a single leg side plank with hip abduction. So moving the leg up and down as I'm doing that side plank there. The last bit of the program on this day is going to be more power based. So squat press, I'm going to then have a look at some hops. So I'm actually going to bring that up there. And then I'm going to have a look at a seated single leg calf raise. So I'll probably tweak the order a little bit to what I've got here at the minute. I'll probably do some of this power-based stuff before I get into the heavy strength stuff. But given there's not a huge volume of heavy leg stuff on this day, that's probably not so bad where it is. I definitely wouldn't put it after this day. I'd be pretty neurologically spent by the time I got to it. So the only thing I've really done in this phase, I've added in there the kettlebell single leg Romanian deadlift. So start to work on some of that hamstring strength, again using some of the neural range through there. So and I've also added in some double leg box jumps. So I put those in before the other leg work, just to start to get that elastic recoil happening. As I sort of saw in the testing, I've sort of lost that over the last, especially the last 6 months. So I really want to try and get that back. That's going to hopefully help my running, same as those hops as well. All right. And the only other new thing you'll see there as well is the banded 3-point hip abduction. So similar to the Star Excursion balance test, but using a band around either the knee or the feet and reaching in different directions, and 3 points in this one. So love Physi Track, Physi app, so I'm going to be using that to track my workout as well. So obviously all the testing we've done is quite objective. I want to make sure that, one, I'm keeping myself accountable. I love Physi Track because it does help you keep your patients and clients accountable to what they're doing. So that's going to help me, hopefully. Two, it's going to give me some motivation. Hopefully I can see as I'm ticking it off, I'm going to be able to track that over time. But three, it's going to give me some real objectivity to be able to show me exactly what I've done, so I can go back and have a look at the dosage of the exercise program and what I've done over the course of the month, to see then what I need to change and tweak going forward based on, put that together with the assessment results that I get in a few weeks' time. All right, so there you have it, guys. There's my first program for the month of January. Hopefully this will start to kick me along, start to work on, get that strength up a little bit in those legs. So hopefully I can start to ramp up the running going forward. We'll see where we're at in a month's time, and then we'll go back and we'll reassess and reevaluate this plan. There'll definitely be a bit more of an upper body focus in the second one, but obviously a lot of the findings we had in the assessment results were around that aerobic capacity, which I'm going to start to build up, and those lower body areas. Okay? Fantastic. Look for any, really interested to hear your thoughts and comments on the program, things you think maybe should be in there at this stage, things that shouldn't be in there. So make sure you put them in the comments below. I'm really interested to hear your thoughts, and start thinking about or the program that you're going to enter in for me, so you can win your Mat Live course in 2019. All right, guys, get to work. Thanks.